Hey book friends, welcome back to the channel. So today's video is where I pick my August TBR. So I haven't done one of these for a couple of months, but I love playing this just very casual TBR game. It's where I basically spin a random number generator and I assign numbers to the books I am potentially wanting to read. I do this in a way that all the books that are on my list, which I'm going to share with you shortly, I want to read. And so my game is all very positive. There's no like books that I don't want to read, but it's just a really fun way for me to pick my little book stack for the month. So let's do that and pick my August TBR. So hi, my name is Angie. Welcome to the channel if you are new here, and welcome back if you have been coming for a while. So like I said, I am picking the books I want to read in August, and I don't know which ones they're gonna be, so it's a really fun way for me to pick my TBR. So I'm just gonna first go through the different categories. I tend to make them around the genres I really like, which is historical fiction, fantasy, thrillers, and I'm going to do that, but I have specific categories this time just because I'm in the mood for certain things. And I'll scoot over so that I can show you the books right along here. And so the first set of books are detective mystery books. So I got a ton of these like a couple months ago, maybe 6 months ago. I did a whole haul video about detective books that I'm really interested in, and I haven't read too many of them, and I'm just kind of in the mood. So the ones I picked as potentials for this month are Unsub, The Likeness, and Tuesday's Gone. Moving on to the next book in a series, and these are all fantasy books, but it's the next ones in the series that I want to just keep reading through these series because I'm really enjoying them. So the books I have for this are Ship of Magic, Bone Shard Emperor, and Crown of Midnight. So the next category I have is from a video I made at the very beginning of the year where I talked about my favorite booktubers, favorite books from last year, and I have a couple still left on my list, and so I want to prioritize these. And so the ones I have are The Other Bennett Sister, Crying in H Mart, and When the World Was Ours. So those three, oh, I'm so excited to get to any of those. And then I was just gonna leave it at that, but then there was a couple books that are on my shelves that I'm just kind of interested in. So I made a miscellaneous category with 2 books in it. And so those books are The Wedding Dress Sewing Club, as well as Exile. So you can see I put numbers by all of these books, and now I am going to run my number generator software on my phone, and I'm just gonna put it up here. So I'll scoot back over, and I'll run this, and we will pick some books. You guys, I honestly don't know why I get so excited about this, but I do. So let me pull it back up, and I will hit spin for the first one. It is really fun. Okay, book number 3. And that book is Tuesday's Gone by Nikki French. I think this was in a previous TBR game, so I'm glad it came back up because I wasn't able to get to it. But let's move on and we'll spin again. Number 7. 7 is The Other Bennett Sister. Nice. Okay. I was planning on reading this, I don't know, recently. I talked about this recently. It was on one of my Friday Reads videos where I was thinking about reading this next. And so I'm jazzed. I'm jazzed it got picked back up. Okay, let's see. Next. Okay, number 1. Number 1 is Unsub. Okay, so it looks like the game is wanting me to read my detective mysteries. So this is Unsub by Meg Gardner. And I think I'm going to pick 5 books because I have 2 books that I'm currently reading, which I will share with you in just a second when I share my full stack. But I'll spin 2 more times. Okay. Waiting. Okay, number 4. Number 4 is A Ship of Magic. You guys, this is another one I have been talking about wanting to start on my Friday Reads videos, and I just hadn't gotten it in the mail, but I got it in the mail. So we'll add that to the pile. And last spin. We'll do this as the last spin, and then I'll show you all the books, and I will talk to you about what they're all about. 5. Number 5, Oh, interesting. So that's Bone Shard Daughter by Andrea Stewart. So I recently read, oh no, this is Bone Shard Emperor. I recently read Bone Shard Daughter at the beginning of the year sometime. So that is what I have. That's what I have. I'm going to close this out and talk about the books. Okay guys, so these are the books that were chosen, and I think they were all like the big books. So that's my stack. I also have these two books, which I'm currently reading. So this is my TBR. And if this is the first time you have tuned in to my TBR Spinner Game, I treat these TBRs very casually. I'm not too worried. I just really enjoy the process of picking, and then I really enjoy having the stack of books there on my shelf for potential reading, basically. So let me go through what I have. So I'm currently reading Golden Sun by Pierce Brown. It's the second book in the Red Rising trilogy. I'm really liking it. I'm 75 pages into it so far. It's really enjoyable. I like this whole series. So to get into kind of what Red Rising is about, it's about this man named Darrow who is a Red. He's part of the Red class on Mars. So Mars has been colonized, and it is set up into a hierarchy system of colors, basically, where the Reds are the lowest. They're kind of pretty much slaves, and then the Golds are the highest. They're in charge. And at the very beginning of Red Rising, something significant happens to Darrow that makes him really want to seek vengeance on the Golds, to rise up from the Red class to basically bring down the Golds. And he is able to infiltrate them in really interesting ways. And I don't want to say too much more than that, because that book took a different direction than I was expecting, and I really enjoyed it. But I am enjoying this even more, and I have heard that. I've heard that book 2 and 3 are even better than book 1. So I'm super jazzed, and I'm really enjoying it. So that will be read in August. As for the other one that will be read in August is The House Across the Lake by Riley Sager. I'm really enjoying this, you guys. I talked a little bit about this in my last Friday reads. I really enjoy Riley Sager's writing style. There's a lot going on in this book so far, but it's basically about this girl named Casey, I believe, who is like a retired actress, not really willingly retired, but she is spending the summer at her family's lake house, and she can see the house across the lake from her, and there's some new occupants who have bought the house, and they become friends or acquaintances, and then Casey starts to see some things happening over there. And the story goes from there, and I'm not going to tell you any more than that. And I'm just really enjoying the ride. I'm so curious where this one's going to land, because I didn't love Survive the Night, but I love a lot of the other Riley Sager books. So, such a fun thing. I just really associate Riley Sager with the summer, because all of his books come out in the summer. I'm not sure why, or if that's on purpose, but I tend to read him in the summer. So, those two I'm going to read. But as for the 5 other books that the spinner wheel picked for me, the first one I'm going to talk about is Tuesday's Gone by Nikki French. So this is a Frida Klein mystery series. Frida Klein is a psychotherapist that at times will work with the police department. Or at least she did in the first book, called Blue Monday, which I really enjoyed. I really enjoy Frida's character. I think she's really unique, and she brings a lot to a detective story, where it's not just told from the point of view of like the detectives trying to figure it out, but she can kind of bring like psychology into it, which I find really, really fascinating. And this is about a crime. Basically, it's a crime where Frida's client, she has a psychotic client named Michelle, is found drinking tea with a corpse, basically. And the man turns out to be this con artist, or this con man. And so the police pull in Frida because she's associated with the woman involved. And then Frida gets pulled into this man and his dealings. And I guess it seems like in some ways he was trying to bring her into something. It sounds very good. I'm always curious, because you don't know much about Frida in these stories. I feel like as the books go on, there's like 7 of them, you learn more and more about her personal life, which I think will just make this series so much more enjoyable. So I have Tuesday's Gone, and then I have A Ship of Magic, which I've been talking about this book. And so this is the first book in the second series. I don't know what the whole thing is called, but this series in particular is called The Live Ship Traders. And it comes after the Farseer trilogy, which I read in June, and I just loved, and I have been raving about anybody who asked me what books to read. I just feel like I have found an author that just really speaks to me as a reader. I am just very character driven. If I really, really love the characters, and I really loved Fitz from the first set. This set though has nothing to do with Fitz, and it makes me a little bit worried, although I have heard so many people just love it. So it is about ships, which I guess you could have guessed that. But it's about ships, and it's in the same world as the first trilogy, but just a little bit different. It's about this area of the world where there are these magical ships, basically. They are made out of wood, wizard wood, which can come alive. Like, so the ship is a character, if I understand it correctly, and the ships can only come alive if 3 members from like successive generations of a single family die on the deck of the ship. Then the ship comes alive. So these are very rare ships, and I think they're highly sought after, and I think that's kind of the central idea to the plot. There is a pirate. There's a pirate involved, because I started listening to this on audiobook and I got really lost, and so then I ordered some used copies, and I'm excited to pick it up. It is so long, you guys. 864 pages. 864 pages. But I read the books in the first series not quickly, but I just loved every minute of them, so it didn't really bother me how big these books are. But I'm really excited for that one. I'm glad it is on my August TBR. It's my plan now to pick it up. And another fantasy book that I did want to pick up because I enjoyed the first one. This book is called The Bone Shard Emperor. The first book is The Bone Shard Daughter. It's about this place where there's just a lot of islands, and that is kind of the kingdom. And in the first book, a girl named Lynn is the daughter of the emperor, and she is trying to learn the magic, the bone shard magic, from her father. He's withholding it for various reasons, which you learn about in that first book, and she tries to kind of sneak behind his back and learn about it anyway. So you kind of have her as main central focus, but it is very much a multi-perspective book where you are following other people throughout the different islands, as it feels like they're trying to kind of start this uprising against the emperor. And the first book ended at like a cliffhanger, and I really wanted to pick up this one, so I did. I picked it up, and so now I'm glad it is on my TBR. Okay, moving on. So, Unsubbed by Meg Gardner. I heard about this book from Audrey from Chapters and Converse. I love her channel. She is the one that I get a lot of my detective mystery recommendations from. And this one is about like a young detective, a girl, I think, yeah, Caitlin, who is part of the narcotics detective unit. But then there's these murders that happen that kind of remind her of what happened in her childhood, because her father is a detective, and he was trying to solve these cases. It was the Prophet. And so now it's happening again, and in this case the daughter wants to solve it because it really cost her dad his sanity, and so now she wants to catch this killer, this like FBI most wanted killer. I think it sounds really good. To me, it sounds like just this fast-paced, entertaining thriller / mystery. I'm up for it. It sounds really fun. And I'm definitely feeling like I'm in the mood for that kind of thing. And the last book on my TBR that was chosen so nicely by the spinner is this one. I want to pick this up so bad. I want to pick all these books up. I don't have this much time. But if I did, I could pick up this one as well. It is The Other Bennett Sister by Janice Hadlow. So this was on whose favorite? Oh, it was April from Getting Hugga With It. It was her favorite, I think, from last year. So I got myself a copy. I love the premise of it. It is very Jane Austen. It is about the middle Bennett sister in Pride and Prejudice. I always have a tough time saying that word. But she is the central character in this book, as opposed to like her more famous sister Elizabeth, and I'm blanking on the other one's name. But you know that they're going to go on and marry these lords or whatever and have these big estates in the country. Well, Mary, it seems, is not going to take that path. And this book is about her kind of finding herself, her rising up from kind of being the middle daughter, looked over daughter, to find her own life, to find her own passions and what she wants to do. I believe she heads into the city, into London, and starts her own life, which just, I think that sounds really interesting. I think it sounds really fun. I've heard nothing but good things about this, so I'm super excited to pick it up. I hope I can. I'm looking at all these books and I'm just like, I don't think I can pick all these up. I wish I could, but this is what I have. Let me show you again. All right, here they are. That's a lot of books. That's a lot of pages. I'm probably not going to get to them all, but I love my stack. I think it'll be a really fun stack to choose from. So let me know down below if you have read any of these books. Do you think I should prioritize them? Because like I said, I'm not going to read them all. I can't. But if there's ones that you think I would really like, or ones that you have loved, let me know down below, because I just love your guys' recommendations. So anyway, that is what I have for this video. If you liked it, give it a thumbs up and subscribe to the channel if you want to. And otherwise, I will see you guys in the next book video. Okay guys, take care.